All right, gang. So my dad, who you're looking at, he spent 43 years in the car business selling vehicles. Now we started a company together called CarEdge, and all we do is help people buy cars. A community member kind of got taken for a bit of a ride on a car deal. My dad's going to break it down for you in 3, 2, 1.
What am I looking at here, handsome?
All right, take a peek, Pops. Walk us through, if you can, as best you're able to, help us understand where this consumer may have gone right and gone wrong. And obviously we'll have the worksheets up on the screen so that everyone can look at it and give us your advice on how you would have approached this deal. And now what you would do, considering it's, already happened.
I'm seeing that this customer purchased a Chevrolet Bolt EUV, financed $39,505. I don't know what the agreed upon selling price was for the car. Cash price of vehicle was $29,385. Document fee was $85. So this must be a California deal. Theft code, SWDS theft code for $12.95. SWDS car security for an additional $12.95. Finishing touch for an additional $12.95. That's $3,900 right there in stuff. Service contract, Century Automotive for $2,100. So we're up to $6,000 in stuff that was added. Gap insurance for $1,470. Oh my God.
So break down, what are you seeing there, Dad?
What I'm seeing is that they sold her all kinds of stuff that perhaps she didn't need or didn't want or didn't understand. To add $6,000 worth of stuff to a $29,000 car, that's what, 20% of the value of the car that they added just in stuff. The $3,900 between theft code, car security, and finishing touch, all that might have cost the dealer, if I'm being generous, might have cost the dealer $750. So there's a huge markup in that. Century Automotive, it's a service contract, but I don't know the terms and I don't know the length. So I'm guessing at $2,100, that might have had a cost to the dealership of maybe $1,000, probably less. These are things that should have been discussed and negotiated before she signed the contract. They charged her 9.99% for interest on this loan. The finance charge is almost $13,400. So the total amount that she's financing is $39,505, and the ultimate cost of the vehicle with her down payment and all the interest charges for this $29,000 car is $54,000.
So, Pops, the way we were able to get our hands on this information was, this is a community member that found us on TikTok and actually sent this over to me via email and said, hey, did I get taken advantage of? What happened here? And so I want you to take a moment. I'm going to share with you what this community member shared with me about this. And I want you to kind of give us some recommendations for how you would handle this situation or how you might approach it differently. This comes from the community member. It says, I finally got a call from the salesman, and she said that the dealership requires me to purchase the add-ons since it's already installed on the vehicle. Otherwise, they would have refused to sell the car to me. Can they do that, is what she asked me.
Well, can they do that? Sure, they can do that, but only if you agree to allow them to do that. Yes, they can say the stuff's already on the car. That doesn't mean you have to pay the asking price for the stuff that's on the car. Everything in those items are negotiable. Every one of those prices is negotiable. The theft code, the car security, the finishing touch. Each one of those items is a separate item that is negotiable. The service contract, that's not installed on the car. That wasn't pre-installed. That is an aftermarket item that you're buying. So yeah, they can say that. Can they do that? Only if you let them.
Dad, if I'm not mistaken, look at the contract. Does it say the word optional next to the different add-ons?
Yes, it does. Yes, every one of them says it's optional. But, you know, their excuse is going to be, but it's already on the car. Great. I wasn't interested in any of those things. And if they say to you, well, if you don't buy them, we're not going to sell you the car. Go buy the car somewhere else. That's the real key. The power is in your ability to say no and then to get up and leave. They will chase after you. And if they don't chase after you, then you definitely know you went to the wrong dealership, and go find another dealership that will do right by you. But this was just adding 20% to the value of the car for these add-ons that have limited value. It's egregious. And you know, I feel sorry that you fell prey to what they did to you. But for people out there, remember, every one of these items is negotiable. If it's taxable, it's negotiable. And every one of these items is optional. So if it's optional, say, I don't want it. Well, it's already on the car. I still don't want it. Yeah, but at the very least, we have to charge you our cost on the car. What's your cost? And let me see if I might be interested. If the cost is exorbitantly high, then I wouldn't have an interest. You have to stand up for yourself. And sometimes standing up for yourself means saying no and leaving. Never be afraid to walk.
Absolutely, Dad. Shameless plug. This is what we do day in and day out at CarEdge.com. Whether you work with one of our coaches, you get a consult call, or you just, avail yourself of all the information back there. It's so that you can not be in this situation, in this position. Dad, I want to provide a little more texture, a little more context to this. Another text message from the community member is, which is the service contract? I think I will do that directly. I encouraged her to cancel it.
Yeah.
I tried to speak with the finance manager, but he hasn't responded. So this is the type of situation where it's on the consumer. You're going to get sold stuff that they say is mandatory, which I then encourage this community member to file a complaint with the state's attorney general, because if they're telling you things are mandatory and required when they're obviously not, go file a complaint. But this is some of the confusion that can come up when, the dealership does this every single day. And if you don't know what's going on, you're just going to agree to pay for 20% more than what the car's worth. And that's not a good situation to be in. Obviously, there are things you can do after the fact, so canceling some of these contracts and getting money back, but it's a tough situation to be in, Dad.
Yes, and always, always, always contact us before you enter into these agreements, not after. We can't help after the fact, but we can walk you through these steps prior. So please, get in touch with us first. Just say, hey, you know what? Everything looks great. I just have to check with a dear friend of mine and I'll get back to you. And then you have a whole team of dear friends that are here, ready, able, and willing to help.
Because you've got to be thinking, Dad, the 9.99% interest rate. I mean, if we've got 20% of added stuff, they're probably not giving her buy rate on the financing. They probably didn't give her a good out the door price for the sale of the vehicle. So there's a lot of areas of this deal where maybe some of the fat could be trimmed, for lack of a better term. And obviously, there are some steps you can do afterwards, like canceling the gap and canceling the service contract. You're probably going to want gap on that thing with all the other stuff that you financed. But
absolutely.
But I think the importance is in, you can do things afterwards, and you should do more things beforehand. And there's probably other areas of this car deal where we could have helped even more. And that's why we're making this video, so that you can explain these things to people, what to watch out for.
It's a teaching moment for the rest of the buyers out there.